So, Adam, give us a sense of what the international response has been.
Well, you heard a taste of it there from United Nations, with the Americans saying, well, we need to keep these talks going on about Iran's nuclear capability. Well, good luck with that, because the Iranians have said that any further talks would be meaningless. I think we are way beyond, at the moment, a point where any talks are going to happen. This is effectively, we're either in the foothills of a war or we're in a conflict now at the moment. But it's a difficult geopolitical one. You've got now a whole load of world leaders saying the same thing. We need to de-escalate, we need to move away from the military, we need to look at a diplomatic solution. And those are very emollient, nice words to be saying in rooms like the UN. But in the reality, in Israel and in Iran, we're seeing missiles being exchanged between the two countries. So what you need to look at is what ends this now, or where does this lead to? And right at the heart of this is the role of the United States. Now, they're talking about a diplomatic solution, but equally you saw that sort of message from Donald Trump yesterday saying the next attacks would be much more brutal, saying all the people who tried to resist this were now dead. What are Iran's possibilities here? Well, one thing is that regime in Iran, by the accounts of many diplomats, is weak. Now, on the one hand, and you were hearing Alistair saying, the Israelis think there's an opportunity for regime change. On the others, there are plenty on the ground who think that this regime will not go down without a fight, and that they have a lot of missiles which they could launch. Not necessarily all at Israel either. There are suggestions that Iran is looking at plans to attack, for instance, Saudi Arabia. Were the Saudis to come in behind Israel or behind America to attack desalination plants, incredibly important to the future of Israel. They could attack American bases in Qatar and Bahrain, for instance. So the Americans are assumed by the Iranians to be supporting Israel, whatever they might say. The Russians, on the other hand, clearly rolling in behind Iran, and that's where this becomes very tense, is because you have the classic two superpowers facing off against each other in the UN. And at the same point, you have a lot of, particularly I think European diplomats, Emmanuel Macron said this yesterday, while we're all being distracted now by what is happening between Iran and Israel, let's not lose sight of what is happening in Gaza. These are lots of leaders who have been forthright about saying that what is happening in Gaza needs to be addressed as well. I mean, ultimately, this is an enormously complex situation, not least because Benjamin Netanyahu feels himself politically somewhat trapped, but emboldened by what's happened over the past couple of years. He thinks this is a chance to cut off the head of what he sees of an Iranian hydra, but the stakes are enormously high.
Yeah, still so many questions about what might happen next. Adam, thanks very much indeed.